Hi. So today's video is about affirmations. In my last video, I talked about arriving in Paris and having to do a whole sort of perspective shift because I just landed from New York and I was comparing it to New York. And in Paris, I learned about affirmations. So, having done my perspective shift using gratitude, I then, became aware of the fact that I was living in one of the world's most beautiful cities, and Paris turned out to be my city of light. I created my first business. I wrote my first book. I read the whole section, the whole education section in Paris. I met amazing people. I just discovered the most magical gardens. Paris was really a magical time for me, and it will be in my heart forever. So, because I was, reading and open, and I was in such a new space there, I was really open to all sorts of different tools and techniques, and I was in a very creative space. So I was curious, and I was trying things that I was coming across in all these books that I was reading. And affirmations came up in a book that I absolutely loved, Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain. And that is a magical book. I highly, highly recommend this book to everyone. It's beautiful. In fact, I think this book ought to be a graduation gift to anyone graduating from school or university. I came across it in a Financial Times magazine. Um, on my way, I was on a train from London to Paris, and they were interviewing Nathalie Massenet, who is the founder of Prêt-à-Porter. And she said that her father had given it to her as a graduation gift. Um, and basically, it was so transformational in how she created so much of her empire and her life. And so I read it. I got back to Paris. I ordered it, read it, and it was my introduction to meditation. It was my introduction to a lot of things, and it was my introduction to affirmations. So let me explain affirmations from a neuroscience perspective as well. So we give you the theory of it and the science behind it, and then I leave you to practice to do the practice. So basically, affirmations are the words that we're uttering. Now, the way to find the right affirmations for you in terms of where you're at, what you're trying to create, your goals, your mission, your basically, if you were to ask yourself, what is in the way of me reaching my goals, you will uncover some of your limiting beliefs. And the limiting beliefs can be anything from, I don't have the funding for this, I don't know how to do this, basically, I am not enough this, I am not enough that. Those are a lot of limiting beliefs. Because anything that we want to create, if it's a desire that is coming from deep within us, what we need along the way will meet us along the steps. So we have to think of what Theodore Roosevelt said, and he said, do what you can with what you have where you are. And so affirmations are basically, we take the limiting belief and we knock it 360 degrees on its head. So we're basically finding the opposite of that. The I don't have enough of, or I don't know how to, become counteracted with our words. The way that works is that the brain works on repetition, and the brain, the more primitive brain, is storing up all the previous experiences, thoughts, and feelings, but basically our lifetime of thoughts and experiences and feelings have been stored there, and it's delivering on that. So, should we choose to change the path, change the creative process, then we have to begin to feed this more primitive mind. It's a new messaging, a new tape, basically. And affirmations are a great way to start because we don't actually have to believe the words. So we can just affirm over and over and over again what it is that we're wanting to create and what it is that we're wanting to feel. I am resourceful. I am creative. I am powerful. I am strong. I am whatever supports the messaging that you want to deliver on. And as you repeat and repeat and repeat on a very regular basis, so it must be a daily repetition. The best times to do those are first thing in the morning, last thing at night, because that's when the brain is we're still in a bit of a meditative state, so it's quite easy to absorb these kind of messages, and we want these messages to be embedded so that our brain, that is the neocortex, the newer brain, the brain that is in charge of learning and decision making and rational thinking, and basically we can pass the messages through this more logical brain into the more primitive one, which is actually it's the brain that is capable of putting together the pieces for us. So in a subtle way, it will find what it needs to do in order to help us reach the goal that we have. So this brain that is in charge of our survival, it is our more sort of more primitive emotions, and it's our it goes even into the more basic sort of breathing and digesting. This brain is capable of it looks after us. So it screens out the dangers, it screens out what's not necessary in terms of information. So once we assign it a mission, then it goes in search of helping you to deliver this that it's now believing is its new programming. So in the same way that, say you want to buy a car, and say you have an Audi in mind, and you've been looking through Audi magazines and brochures, and you've been looking at Audi online, what will happen is you will begin to notice Audis everywhere. Audis will be in your life, like everywhere. And it's the same. So once you've given this brain a programming that says, I am, so the part of the brain that neuroscience thought was quite passive is the thalamus. And it's been learned that it is actually a very active part of our brain. So we can assign the thalamus projects. And so if our project is to find someone to help us do this, then it is everyone, basically I'm resourceful, and everything that I need to create this that I need to create is manifesting. And the idea with affirmations is to keep them quite short and catchy, that you can repeat them quite often. So I would say find the limiting belief and find an affirmation that counteracts it in a way that's quite catchy and easy for you to say. So in the olden days, there was this pharmacist in France whose name is Émile Coué, and he used to give his prescription to the patient, and he would give them an affirmation with it. And he found that whenever he did that, whenever he gave them words to accompany the prescription, they would heal. And when he would give them just the medication without the words, the healing was not guaranteed. So his affirmation was, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. And eventually this line made it into John Lennon's song in Beautiful Boy. and I believe that comes from, you know, the whole meditation world that John Lennon was in, because when we meditate, we have access to all the resources that are out there. So I don't know how this truth landed with him, but this is the power of words. That words can really reprogram our system and help our brain to deliver what needs to be delivered. So we get to do it consciously. We get to choose the words and we get to embed them in the more primitive brain that can then basically do what it needs to do to orchestrate this that we are desiring. And affirmations are great because you start off with them. If you accompany them with the visualizations and the images, that's great. And eventually we'll get to a video where we talk about feeling and celebrating all of this. So we start to pass the feelings through. But the words are already very powerful because the words are extensions of our thoughts. And we know that thoughts create our world. And we know that what a belief is essentially a thought that we're thinking very often. So to strengthen our beliefs, we want to make sure that we've got the right thoughts supporting those. And so the words can be just a way that is easy. We can repeat when we're in the shower. We can repeat when we're, you know, brushing our teeth. We can repeat when we're driving the car. And I would say, you know, put them on post-its and put them wherever you can see them, so you have these positive suggestions all around you. And the thing with affirmations is that you want to do them very regularly. So I used to use a lot of affirmations during certain periods, and then I would manifest everything that I wanted. And then I kind of forget about them. I'd relax, and then I'd have to start all over again. So I think the thing is to affirm, 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 manifest, and continue affirming, so that you don't have lag periods or, you know, this sort of up and down, that you just stay consistently affirming. So find your most pressing issues right now and find the limiting beliefs behind them. Affirm the opposite of that. I would say choose 3 affirmations that you repeat quite regularly during the day. When you remember and when you have a moment, you can repeat them silently. If you're in a queue, you can repeat them out loud. If you're at home doing your makeup or whatever, and let's see how that goes. So I have some affirmations that have worked wonders for me. I've manifested a lot with them, and I've categorized them in sort of different areas, like health and abundance and fun and so on. So if you would like to have access to some of my affirmations, I'm very happy to share them. So just come on over to the website ranialababidy.com and just sign up. And as a welcome, you will receive these affirmations. So I hope you will share some of your results with these. I know affirmations are miraculous. They create miracles. So please share some of your results, and please share things that you've already manifested through affirmations, so we get to have even more encouragement for using them. So I hope this was helpful, and if you enjoyed it and you know others who might also enjoy it, please share this video. I would love that. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye.